As a business guy, create jobs, build more business, making sure people have jobs, making sure people have life good conditions. This is the key. This is probably pretty unique. It's not profit, revenue. If there are any shareholders here, I already wrote on our IP book. And we think this is right. If the community is good, if the people are healthy, the business will be healthy. This is what we believe. Internet, e-commerce will be good. And for internet financing, same thing. America, you don't have internet financing, guys. You don't. We China have. Why? Because our financial system in China is too bad. When it is too bad, it's the opportunity. Make these people successful. Make these people good. And then they will attract more people going up. Right? If the people who are online are poor, and then nobody will go there. I don't like Chinese movie. All the movies, Chinese movies, the heroes always die. Nobody want to be the hero. In American movies, all the heroes survive. That's why people want to be hero. Right? So my philosophy is that making those people using internet successful, those small business using internet, if they're successful, our business will be successful, more people moving online.
When I was young, I complained about everything. I saw a system filled with flaws and a lack of opportunities. Frustration was my constant companion. But one day it struck me, complaining changes nothing. In that moment, I realized that the complaints around us are not just noise. They are opportunities in disguise. They are clues, pointing out gaps that need to be filled, waiting for someone bold enough to take action. The truth is, if you listen carefully, complaints are like treasure maps. If everyone is unhappy about the same problem, there's a chance to create something valuable. Take the example of Alibaba. I noticed that small businesses in China were struggling. They had no way to reach global markets, and they felt stuck. I knew that instead of waiting for someone else to fix things, it was my chance to create a solution. The future wasn't something to wait for. It was something to build now. That's why I stopped looking at complaints as obstacles and started seeing them as opportunities. Every frustration, every limitation was a sign that something needed to change. And instead of waiting for the right time, I acted immediately. It's about being proactive and seeing the future in the present moment. If you want to create the future, don't wait for conditions to be perfect. There is no perfect moment. The future is not something far away. It's what you make of today. The complaints you hear are your chance to start building now, to shape something that others can only imagine. So, will you continue to complain, or will you seize the moment and create the future from today's challenges? Because the opportunity is right in front of you. When I look back, I remember a time when I was on a flight and picked up a magazine. It featured a story about a young, innovative entrepreneur in China. I thought, this guy is incredible. But as I read further, I realized they were talking about me. It was funny because sometimes people think they know everything about you from books and articles, but most of those stories aren't even true. That experience taught me a powerful lesson. Don't believe everything people say. Always think for yourself. To build something great, you can't follow the crowd. You need to think differently, to challenge what everyone else takes for granted. When everyone was saying that e-commerce had no future in China, I saw an opportunity. Many thought I was out of my mind, but I knew that to create the future, you must see what others can't see and dare to pursue it. The moment you start thinking like everyone else, you limit your own potential. Ask yourself, if everyone is going one way, what's on the other side? Sometimes the best opportunities are where nobody is looking. Thinking differently is not about being rebellious. It's about seeing things from a new perspective and acting on it. I knew that if I could think beyond the traditional ways of business, Alibaba could be something groundbreaking. The truth is, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit. Change yourself. If you adapt, if you think beyond the usual, you'll be one step ahead. The future belongs to those who dare to think differently and act on their vision. While others wait for the perfect conditions, those who think outside the box are already building their own path. So, are you willing to question the norm and think differently? Because that's where the real future begins. I failed more than 30 job applications when I was young. I tried to become a police officer, and they told me, "You're not good enough for this." Even at KFC, when it opened in my city, I was the only one not hired out of 24 applicants. I remember feeling the sting of rejection. But these failures shaped my mindset. Instead of seeing them as setbacks, I saw them as lessons. Lessons that would become the foundation for success. Failure is not something to be afraid of. It's a teacher, sometimes the best one. When you get used to failing, you start building resilience. You learn to stand up every time you fall, and that's what matters most. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about how quickly you get up and try again. For every failure, I told myself, there's something valuable here to learn, and I used that to move forward. When you face rejection, think of it as building a muscle. The more you experience it, the stronger you become. Each failure is a step closer to the opportunity that will change everything. If I hadn't failed so many times, I wouldn't have developed the mindset to create Alibaba. Those experiences taught me that the future isn't a straight line. It's built through resilience and persistence. If you're afraid of failing, you'll always be stuck in the same place. Success comes from learning to fail well, learning to bounce back with new ideas, and using those lessons to shape your path forward. The moment you embrace failure, you'll see it's the stepping stone you need to create your future. So, are you willing to face failure head on, to see it as your training ground for success? Because the real breakthrough comes from learning through your toughest moments. When we started Alibaba, we were just 18 people in a small apartment with $50,000. It wasn't much, but it was enough for us to dream big. I told my friends, no one can borrow money from their parents or friends. We have to use what we have because it's our responsibility. That small start taught us something crucial. If you have a big dream, the size of your resources doesn't matter. It's the determination behind them that counts. Starting small is not a disadvantage. It's an advantage. It allows you to focus, to build something with care and attention to detail. I've always believed that it's the small steps that lead to the big milestones. When you have limited resources, you value every penny, every effort, and you work harder to make things happen. That's the foundation of any great business or idea. Start with what you have and let your passion and hard work grow it. I often hear people say they'll wait until they have more money, more resources, or a bigger team. But waiting for the right conditions is a trap. The future is not about waiting. It's about acting on what you have right now. The time to build is now, no matter how small the start. Alibaba became what it is today because we didn't wait for more. We worked with what we had, and we believed in our vision. Small beginnings teach you to appreciate growth. They teach you patience, discipline, and resilience, skills you need to succeed in the long run. They also keep you grounded, reminding you of the hard work it took to reach the top. And that's why, even as a big company, I try to keep the same spirit, the same hunger that fueled us in that tiny apartment. So, what small step can you take today that might build the future you've always dreamed of? Remember, the size of your start doesn't determine your success. It's the passion and determination behind it. In the early days of Alibaba, we believed that even as a small company, we had to have a big heart. It wasn't about the size of our office or our profits. It was about the impact we could create. We made it our mission to do small acts of good that would positively impact our customers. And today, Even as a large company, I still encourage my teams to maintain that spirit. It's those small, meaningful actions that make the biggest difference. Whether you're running a small business or leading a team, it's not about how big you are. It's about how much heart you put into what you do. People remember the small things, the personal touch, the attention to detail. That's what creates loyalty and trust. So even as we grew, I made sure that our philosophy didn't change. Keep a big heart, even if you're small. When you operate with this mindset, you build something more than a business. You build a community. Our partners and customers became part of our journey, and that's what created the strength of Alibaba's network. It wasn't about becoming the biggest. It was about making sure that we helped others grow alongside us. It's that kind of spirit that makes a company or a leader stand out. Having a big heart also means thinking about the future of others, not just your own success. I've seen that when you focus on creating impact, the financial rewards follow naturally. So, if you want to build something lasting, ask yourself how you can positively impact those around you. It's not the size of your business that defines you. It's the size of your heart. Are you ready to lead with a big heart? Because that's where the true value lies. Not in profits, but in the positive impact you create every single day. We had big dreams when we started Alibaba, but I knew that dreams alone wouldn't build the future we envisioned. It required attention to detail. And that's why, in the beginning, we were our own first customers. We bought and sold our own products on the platform just to make sure everything worked perfectly. We tested every small detail because we knew that for big dreams to come true, you have to be precise. It's not enough to have a vision. You have to build it step by step. People often get lost in the big picture, forgetting that it's the small, everyday actions that make a dream possible. I've learned that if you don't pay attention to the details, the foundation of your vision becomes shaky. So, no matter how big your dream is, focus on the execution. Make sure everything is done with care. This approach taught me that the future is shaped by those who pay attention to the smallest things. You can't wait for someone else to perfect your idea. You need to dive in and make sure every part of your vision is aligned. That's how you turn a big dream into reality, not by waiting for perfection, but by working on the details with precision. Think about it. If you're building a bridge, every piece matters. If one part is missing, the whole structure collapses. It's the same with dreams. Every small task, every bit of effort adds up. So, when you have a big vision, make sure you're willing to work on the smallest pieces. It's in those details that the true potential of your dream is built. So what details can you focus on today to bring your grand vision closer to reality? Because every big dream is a sum of precise, well-executed steps. I learned early on that nothing great is built alone. When we founded Alibaba, we visited over 30 investors in the United States, and all of them rejected us. They told us that e-commerce wouldn't work in China. Those were tough times, but they taught me a valuable lesson. To build something great, you need partners who truly believe in what you're doing. It's not enough to have a vision. You need others who share your passion. Partnerships are about finding the right people. It's not just about money. It's about finding those who align with your values and who see the potential in your dream. We eventually found partners who understood our mission, and with their support, we were able to build Alibaba into what it is today. Partnerships are the bridges that connect your vision to reality. The truth is, the road to success is long and challenging. You need people by your side who will walk that road with you, who will stick around during the tough times. It's not about how many partners you have, it's about the quality of those relationships. A true partner will not only invest money, but will invest belief, time, and effort into the journey. When you build with others, you create a network of strength. Alibaba was not built by one person, it was built by a community. We grew because we had people who believed in us and our mission. The future isn't built alone, it's built through collaboration, through finding those who want to build alongside you. So who are the partners in your journey? Who will stand by you and share your vision for the future? Because together, you can build something far greater than what you could ever achieve alone. There were moments when I wanted to give up, maybe 10,000 times. The journey of building Alibaba was full of challenges, and there were days when everything seemed impossible. But each time I felt like quitting, I told myself, hold on for just 3 more days. And many times, those 3 days were enough to overcome the obstacle and find a solution. Persistence isn't about never feeling like quitting. It's about pushing through those feelings and staying the course. When you're building the future, you will face challenges. It's inevitable. But if you give up at the first sign of difficulty, you will never see the other side. It's like climbing a mountain. Sometimes the peak feels so far away, but every step you take brings you closer. Persistence is about believing that every step, even the difficult ones, is part of the journey to success. In my experience, it's not talent or intelligence that sets people apart. It's persistence. Those who refuse to quit, who push through when things get tough, are the ones who make it to the top. Success is built on resilience, on the ability to keep going even when everything seems stacked against you. That's how you build the future, by being persistent and refusing to quit. Think of persistence as a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you choose not to give up, you build your capacity to handle the next challenge. And believe me, the future doesn't belong to the strongest or the fastest. It belongs to those who don't give up. So, when the going gets tough, what will you do? Will you hold on for just 3 more days? Or will you let go of your dreams? The choice you make will define the future you build. There was a time when I didn't like Bill Gates. I thought he had stolen all the opportunities in tech. But as I grew older, I realized something. The world is full of opportunities if you're willing to see them. It's not about what's been taken, it's about what's left to create. Optimism isn't just about being positive, it's about seeing possibilities where others see problems. When I look at the future, I don't see limits. I see potential. I believe that in 10 years, there will be more successful businesses and entrepreneurs than we have today. That's because optimism allows you to see beyond current challenges and imagine what can be. If you only focus on what's wrong, you'll miss what's right in front of you. Optimism is a skill. It's something you build by focusing on what you can create rather than what you can't change. Even when things look difficult, if you maintain a positive outlook, you'll find ways to turn problems into opportunities. That's what has driven me throughout my journey, believing that the future is bright and that there are always new ways to succeed. So, how do you view the future? As something full of barriers, or as a canvas ready for your ideas? Because the way you look at it will determine what you create. When I founded Alibaba, many people questioned why I was investing so much in education and development. They said, why not focus on making money? But I knew that if we didn't develop people, we wouldn't develop anything at all. Investing in education is the foundation for long-term success, both for businesses and for society. It's through education that we transform individuals. And when we transform individuals, we transform communities. It's not just about learning skills. It's about developing a mindset. I've seen that when people are equipped with knowledge and tools, they are empowered to build their own futures. And when you help people build their futures, you create a ripple effect that benefits everyone. Education is the most powerful investment you can make. It's an investment in people, in potential, and in possibilities. I believe that the future belongs to those who are willing to learn, grow, and adapt. If you stop learning, you stop growing, and if you stop growing, you stop creating. That's why I've always focused on developing talent, especially among young people. They are the ones who will build the future, and the best way to support them is through education and capacity building. Think about it. If you want to build a great company or a great life, you need to start with a strong foundation. And that foundation is knowledge. It's the fuel that powers innovation, creativity, and success. So if you're looking to shape your future, invest in education, both yours and others. What skills or knowledge could you invest in today that will shape the future you want to see? Because when you invest in education, you're investing in the future. In the beginning, many people told me that the internet and e-commerce had no future in China. They believed I was wasting my time and resources. But I knew that innovation was essential. Rather than following what everyone else was doing, I bet on the digital future. And today, I can see that decision put us far ahead. Innovation isn't just about technology. It's about mindset. It's about daring to try something new, even when others doubt you. The world is always changing, and those who innovate will be the ones who stay ahead. I understood that to create something valuable, you must think beyond the present and into what could be possible. You must be willing to explore, experiment, and even fail along the way. If you want to build a successful business or career, you need to be constantly thinking about how to innovate. Don't wait for someone else to show you the way. The future doesn't belong to those who follow the crowd. It belongs to those who create new paths. That's why I focused on building a digital ecosystem in China when many people were still skeptical. I believed that the internet had the power to transform lives and businesses, and I was right. Innovation is what keeps you relevant, competitive, and ahead of the curve. If you wait for others to innovate, you'll be left behind. The future is shaped by those who take risks and adapt quickly to changing environments. It's not just about having the best technology. It's about having the best approach, the courage to try something different, and the willingness to lead. So, what new path could you create today that will set you apart? Because the future is built by those who dare to innovate. We never wanted Alibaba to be a company that controlled everything. Instead, we built an ecosystem where small businesses could thrive. I've always believed that the more success our partners achieve, the more successful Alibaba becomes. It's through this kind of network that we create real value. The key is not to control, but to enable. The future belongs to those who build communities, not empires. If you focus only on your own success, you limit your growth. But if you help others grow, you create a network of strength and shared success. That's what Alibaba has become, a platform where others can achieve their dreams. And in doing so, we achieve ours. It's a cycle of growth that benefits everyone. Building a network is about understanding that your success is tied to the success of others. It's about creating opportunities, not just for yourself, but for the people around you. The more value you create for others, the stronger your position becomes. It's not about competition, it's about collaboration. That's the kind of mindset that allows you to build something that lasts. When you create value through a network, you build a legacy. You create something that goes beyond profits and lasts for generations. That's the power of working together, of building a future that benefits not just one person or one company, but an entire community. And that's where the real impact lies. So, are you ready to create a network of value? Because the future is not built alone, it's built together. When I look back, I see that the greatest rewards came from the greatest challenges. It's easy to wish for an easy path, but the truth is, challenges are what shape you. They're what build character, resilience, and the skills you need to succeed. I've always believed that if you can face a challenge, you're already one step closer to achieving something meaningful. When you encounter obstacles, it's a sign that you're moving forward. It means you're on the right path. If everything is too easy, It usually means you're staying in your comfort zone, and growth rarely happens there. I encourage young people to embrace the obstacles they face, because in every challenge, there's an opportunity. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the potential reward. The key is not to fear challenges, but to understand them as opportunities for growth. Each time you overcome an obstacle, you gain a new skill, a new perspective. And it's these skills and experiences that prepare you for even greater success. The future is shaped by those who are willing to take on the hard tasks, who don't shy away from difficulty. Challenges are like a test of your determination. They show you what you're capable of and push you to go beyond what you thought was possible. They're the stepping stones to building something truly impactful. If you want to build the future, you have to be willing to face the obstacles that come with it. So how will you view your next challenge? As a barrier or as an opportunity to grow? The choice you make will define the future you create. Even with all the success I've had, I still see myself as an ordinary person, someone who makes mistakes and has much to learn. A good example is that, to this day, I don't understand technology. I built Alibaba without being a tech expert, but that humility allowed me to listen to the right people, to learn from those around me, and to keep evolving. Staying humble is the key to continuous growth. Humility doesn't mean downplaying your achievements. It means staying open to new knowledge, to the fact that you don't know everything. In a world that's constantly changing, it's those who stay humble who adapt and succeed. When you think you know it all, you close yourself off to learning, and that's when you start to fall behind. Staying humble also means recognizing that the people around you have value to add. When I built Alibaba, I didn't pretend to have all the answers. I surrounded myself with people who had skills I didn't possess, and together, we built something bigger than any one of us could have imagined alone. The future isn't built by arrogance, it's built by those who remain humble enough to learn from others. The more success you achieve, the more you need humility. It keeps you grounded, reminds you of where you started, and helps you stay focused on continuous improvement. When you stay humble, you remain open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. That's the real strength. The ability to keep learning, no matter how much you've accomplished. Are you willing to stay humble, to keep learning, and to keep evolving? Because that's where the true potential for future success lies. For me, money is a blessing and a responsibility. I believe that when you achieve success, it's your duty to give back to society. That's why I've invested so much in social projects and small businesses. Because I know that when you help others succeed, you find a greater purpose. Money itself is not the goal. It's what you do with it that counts. Gratitude is powerful. It reminds you of how far you've come and helps you stay focused on the impact you want to make. When you focus on gratitude and purpose, you build something that goes beyond profits. You build a legacy. That's why I believe that success is not just about what you achieve, it's about how you use your achievements to uplift others. When you operate with gratitude, you see opportunities to make a difference everywhere. It's not just about building your own success, it's about helping others build theirs. And in doing so, you create a network of growth that benefits everyone. The future is not just about your journey, it's about how many others you can help along the way. So the question is, what are you grateful for today? And how can you use that gratitude to fuel your purpose and build a future that benefits not just you, but everyone around you?
Imagine waiting your whole life for the perfect moment and realizing that it never comes. Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba, challenges exactly this mentality. In his powerful speech, he reminds us that the future is not something to wait for, it is something to be seized. Too often people get caught up in the illusion that success and opportunities lie far ahead, when in reality, They are right in front of us, waiting to be seized. Jack Ma's journey is living proof that the most successful individuals don't wait for the right moment, they create it. From turning complaints into opportunities and seeing failure as a valuable teacher to thinking differently and innovating with bold actions, Jack Ma shares lessons that make us rethink the way we approach our daily lives. He invites us to stop making excuses, to accept today's challenges, and turn them into breakthroughs that shape our future. Watch this video again because it has the power to transform your world. Jack Ma will take you through his most compelling ideas, from persistence as a daily practice to rejection as a lesson, all linked to the core belief that the future is not a distant dream. It is built by what you do now. So if you've ever felt stuck, waiting for the right moment to act, this is your wake-up call. Discover the secrets that can turn today's actions into tomorrow's success, and why the future belongs to those who refuse to wait. Jack Ma often emphasized the importance of viewing complaints as windows of opportunity. Imagine a young professional stuck in a job where everyone around him complains about the inefficiency of the system. Instead of joining in the chorus, what if he observed these frustrations as signs pointing to potential improvements? By addressing these pain points, he could transform an overlooked issue into a profitable venture. This is exactly what Jack Ma did. He found value where others saw only obstacles, turning complaints into solutions that ultimately built his empire. He recalls that during his early years, he too found himself constantly criticizing the lack of opportunities in China's market. But rather than allowing these frustrations to hold him back, he chose to shift his perspective. Instead of waiting for change to come, he realized that taking action on these common complaints could pave his way to success. It's a classic example of shifting from a passive mindset to an active one, where obstacles are merely unpolished opportunities waiting for someone brave enough to seize them. Imagine how your life could change if, instead of focusing on what's wrong, you started seeing every complaint as an opportunity to innovate. Whether it's a colleague's constant grumbling about work processes or customers' dissatisfaction with a product, these are golden chances to step in and offer a solution. Jack Ma's story teaches that the difference between those who succeed and those who don't often lies in their ability to transform complaints into stepping stones for growth. And perhaps that's exactly where your next breakthrough awaits. Jack Ma believes that thriving in the present requires challenging the status quo. He once shared a story about reading an article in a magazine, realizing that it was about him, yet the narrative differed from his own experience. This moment made him understand that many people accept information as absolute truth without questioning it. Thinking differently isn't just about creativity. It's about not conforming to what everyone says and finding new ways to engage with the present. The message is clear. To avoid waiting for the future, you must act now, thinking independently. Throughout his journey, Jack Ma encountered countless situations where people claimed things were impossible, especially in the context of the internet in China during the 1990s. He decided that if he wanted to make a difference, he had to carve out a unique path, even if no one believed in it. This innovative and fearless mindset is what enabled him to build the Alibaba empire. By thinking outside the box, he seized the present rather than waiting for the future to bring solutions. The key to applying this mindset is to constantly question everything. Instead of accepting what the majority says, challenge assumptions and look for opportunities that others overlook. Just as Jack Ma did, you can open doors that no one else knew existed. This kind of thinking is what enables you to make the most of the present moment, turning today's challenges into tomorrow's successes. Jack Ma's story is filled with rejection and failure, which he transformed into the stepping stones for his success. He speaks openly about being rejected from over 30 jobs, including the police force and even KFC, where he was the only applicant not accepted. These experiences taught him the value of perseverance. Instead of viewing failure as the end, he saw it as an opportunity to grow, to try again, and to prove himself in new ways. This mindset is crucial for those who understand that the future isn't some distant concept, it's shaped by what we do today. Failure, as Jack Ma emphasizes, isn't a sign to give up, but a call to persist. Each rejection he faced added to his resilience, building the character necessary for entrepreneurship. When you fail today, it's not the end. It's a lesson that shapes your approach for tomorrow. The sooner you accept that failures are an essential part of the journey, the quicker you can move forward, using these lessons to make progress. If you, like Jack Ma, embrace failure as a learning tool, you'll be better prepared for the opportunities that come. It's not about waiting for success to find you in the future. It's about understanding that today's failures are the bricks that build the path to tomorrow's achievements. Jack Ma often says that when Alibaba was a small company, they focused on having a big heart. Even as a giant in the tech industry today, he emphasizes the importance of maintaining that spirit of doing small things that make a positive impact on customers. For Jack, the future isn't about waiting for grand moments. It's about taking small, meaningful actions in the present. These small steps create a ripple effect, leading to bigger results over time. Even as Alibaba grew, Jack Ma encouraged his teams to stay grounded, focusing on how small gestures could significantly impact their clients' lives. This approach is a reminder that you don't have to wait for the future to do something great. You can make a difference today, no matter how small it may seem. It's these small, intentional acts that collectively shape the future. So, whether you're running a small business or just beginning your professional journey, remember that greatness starts with the smallest actions. Don't wait for the perfect moment in the future. Seize the opportunities in front of you right now. In the end, it's these consistent, heart-driven efforts that create long-term success. Jack Ma has faced countless moments where he considered quitting. He openly shares that there were thousands of instances when he felt like giving up, but he always told himself to endure just 3 more days. Often, those 3 days were enough to overcome the challenge. His message is that persistence is a daily exercise, one that helps you keep moving forward when things get tough. The idea is to not wait for the future to provide solutions, but to push through and take action now. Persistence isn't about never facing obstacles. It's about how you respond when those obstacles arise. Jack's philosophy shows that it's in those moments of doubt, when you choose to keep going, that you lay the foundation for future success. Each small act of persistence today adds up, ensuring that you are prepared for the challenges of tomorrow. Imagine if, instead of waiting for a better opportunity, you committed to pushing through your challenges today. Just like Jack Ma's story illustrates, it's often these small, persistent efforts that create the momentum needed to reach new heights. Jack Ma wasn't always optimistic about his future. He once admitted that when he was younger, he disliked Bill Gates, believing Gates had taken away all the opportunities for others to succeed. But as he matured, he realized that the world is full of new opportunities if you're willing to see them. Optimism, he learned, is not about ignoring challenges. It's about believing that new possibilities exist right now and taking action to discover them. By changing his mindset, Jack Ma started to see the present as a landscape filled with potential. Rather than waiting for the future to bring success, he began to believe that success could be created today. This shift in perspective is what allowed him to build one of the most successful companies in the world. His optimism wasn't about wishing for a better future. It was about creating it through action. If you choose to embrace optimism like Jack Ma, you'll start seeing opportunities everywhere. It's not about waiting for the future to unfold perfectly. It's about making the most of today, believing that the steps you take now will build the successful future you envision. Jack Ma's journey is a testament to learning from rejection. He was rejected countless times, from job applications to business deals, but instead of allowing these rejections to stop him, he used them as motivation. He believes that the future isn't guaranteed, but the actions you take today determine your success. Each rejection he faced became a lesson that helped him navigate future challenges. In one instance, when he was starting Alibaba, most people thought his vision was impossible. Investors laughed at his ideas, but he saw these rejections as opportunities to refine his approach. Instead of waiting for someone else's approval or for a perfect future scenario, he focused on what he could do now to make his vision a reality. This proactive approach is what turned Alibaba into the powerhouse it is today. When you learn to accept rejection and transform it into a learning experience, you empower yourself to act boldly in the present. Like Jack Ma, you understand that waiting for a future free of obstacles is unrealistic. Instead, you shape your future by taking action now, using today's setbacks as stepping stones. Jack Ma's philosophy is simple. Innovation doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment, it comes from acting now. He believes that too many people waste time planning for the future when they could be using their time to create solutions in the present. When he started Alibaba, the idea of e-commerce in China was still developing. But instead of waiting for the right time, he acted, taking small steps each day to build a platform that would eventually revolutionize the industry. The idea is that innovation isn't reserved for those with the perfect resources or timing. It's about using what you have today to create something meaningful. Jack Ma's story is a reminder that if you wait for the future, you'll miss the opportunity to innovate now. It's through taking bold, decisive actions in the present that you build the foundations of tomorrow's success. Think about your current situation. What's one idea you've been holding back, waiting for the right time to start? Jack Ma's journey shows that there's no better time than now to take that first step. The future you're envisioning begins with the actions you take today. Jack Ma's lessons aren't just stories, they're calls to action. If you want to shape your future, the time to act is now. The knowledge you've gained from his insights, transforming complaints into opportunities, embracing failure, and thinking differently can be the blueprint for your success. But knowledge alone isn't enough. Will you take the first step today? Will you turn your setbacks into lessons and your ideas into action? Remember, the future isn't waiting. It's being built by what you do right now. Don't just watch and forget. Apply these lessons, revisit this video whenever you need a dose of motivation, and let it remind you that your time is now. And before you go, make sure to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to keep learning and growing. And don't miss the next video. Practical tips for defining your life's purpose. It's the next step in your journey.